Well, you addressed this. There's a rumor that Iceman is going to be Drake's last album on Universal.
I wouldn't say last album. It's the one that fulfills the contract.
Oh, okay.
It's the one that fulfills the contract.
So after that, he's a free agent.
Yeah, but you see, when you speak on this and you're not in Drake's business, like actually, like his lawyer or whoever negotiated, probably Mr. Morgan or whatever, you have to you have to realize this is a very malleable situation where it's like, let's relate it to basketball. No basketball team would let Michael Jordan at his height become an unrestricted free agent. You're always going to give him, it's like in football, they do the franchise tag, right? Like you don't let your big player ever really touch the open market, right? Because you're going to get outpriced yourself. So I don't think Drake, I personally said I don't think he's leaving Universal at all. But I do think that they're going to have to overpay a bit. And I think that what's going to happen is, I think we see another collab album after this because they're going to do, every time they do a collab album, from what I hear, it's probably some type of addendum. You know, it's like, so we keep stringing it along and then we see. But I don't know, like, again, this is info from me, not from Drake, because, you know, you talk, it's only so much you talk to a man about. He might not let you up in his bank account, right? I don't see him walking away from that. I just don't see him. Like no one, it wouldn't make sense on paper for anyone to pay him more than Universal could either. Why? His catalog's already there that they could leverage. They could leverage it for revenue that's coming in, and they could leverage it for why they would want to give him more money for more albums, because the way it works in streaming, the newer albums you drop helps the back catalog. So you're leveraging giving him more money because you're going to get it back from the back catalog getting increased.
Well, but you would get it back even if you went somewhere else, because you still own the back catalog if you're Universal and he goes, like, let's say Sony.
Yeah, but if you're Sony,
he drops a new album on Sony, the Universal back catalog will start to get streamed as well.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Let's just put random dollar amounts on the table. Say Drake says he wants $500 million. Well, if for Universal, let's say you've done your math, and you know these are big firms, these are billion-dollar companies. They're gonna say, you're really worth like 280 right now, right? Obviously not gonna go from 280 to 500. So let's say like you're really worth 400, $100 extra million. Like they'll probably pull the trigger on it if that's the number Drake wants before he goes to Sony and gets that. Why? They could leverage the fact that they have his catalog. Sony has to only recoup from what they have. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So why would Sony want to give him more than they would think he's valued at? Well, they have nothing else to leverage.
Well, but then they start an ongoing long-term relationship.
Drake is 37. Drake is 37. Drake is 37 and he's dropped about 8 albums on Universal. Right? Do you want to? It's like LeBron James. Do you want to trade the entire team now for LeBron James? Or if somebody says, I don't know who the new guy is, would you get him for a way cheaper price?
Well, here's the alternative, of course. Drake leaves Universal and goes completely independent. Do you think that'll ever happen? Now, you've seen Meek do it, and it's not working out for him, it seems. But of course, Meek is not Drake on any level. So do you think Drake could be that artist that goes fully independent and ends up making even more money than anybody?
Nah.
Why? Because the radio play that's controlled by the major labels won't like favor him, and
I think the basis
Spotify playlist. I don't know though, but Drake is different.
No. The basis of his lawsuit, I think. When I look at his lawsuit, I said that's label shit. That's what labels do. Everything. Whatever you're accusing them of doing, I'm like, yeah, that's what labels do for y'all hot artists. Like, this has no, like, some... So, if you're blowing the whistle and saying that's foul play, that means if you went independent, you wouldn't be trying to do foul play, which means you ain't gonna be successful. So, if you're saying...
But no, but you could use the same tactics.
Impossible. No, but that means... If I'm saying, okay, let's put this in sports analogy. Yo, I'm done playing in the NBA because they allow James Harden and Vlad to do 5 steps and they don't call it a travel. That's why I'm gonna leave the NBA. And I go to the FIBA league and I go over there And they basically say to become the number one player in this league, you probably got to do 5 steps too. Why the hell did I leave the NBA? The thing is, the music industry, you cannot win on that large of a level unless you're playing the game. The game is dictated by these 3 behemoths, and you could try. We've never seen. Look how easy they done wiped out Kanye.
Well, Kanye wiped himself out. Let's keep it 100.
Well, okay, you're saying by his actions.
Kanye wiped himself out.
But what I'm saying is that
you can't say when Kanye left Def Jam, suddenly his music career went down for no reason other than
you're not getting what I'm
Def
saying.
Jam.
It's once these entities determine that you aren't in their game anymore, it's hard to sustain that visibility, right? It's the same thing with, all right, so let's say you leave Live Nation and say, well, I'm going to still do arenas and stadiums.
That's a little different.
It's the same thing.
No, because Live Nation has a monopoly over all the large stadiums, essentially.
The 3 music labels have a monopoly over music. They own part of Spotify. They own part of the DSPs.
Spotify is a public company. Owning a part of Spotify does not mean that you control Spotify. You just own a part of Spotify. You and I, if we buy Spotify stock, we own a part of Spotify.
Part of their ownership was leveraged for the fact that they have to license. If any time, right, Spotify has to have these deals with Universal, Sony, and Warner, because if all 3 at any moment said, we're pulling our catalog, if those catalogs are off of there, Spotify's done. That's a fact. It's done. Which means the game is determined by the players who are needed there for every entity to exist. The number one thing that Universal, Warner, and Sony always have to leverage is the catalog. And until, what do you think Drake's gonna make music till infinity? He's gonna be that effective till infinity? Radio, again, it's not like Drake has a conglomerate around him, like artists that's down to do the same. If Drake had remember when they started the title thing? That sounded great in theory. But everyone pointed out then, all these people are in contracts. Right around then, all those Lucian said, we're done with exclusives because Drake pulled that stunt. Well, Apple Music really. Larry Jackson through Apple Music pulled a stunt with the exclusives back to back where we get Drake and The Weeknd, who had their album only up on Apple Music. Lucian Grant said, we're done giving any platform exclusive window. By the way, it's such a complex thing that even now, you can't even leak a song on any DSPs. They get mad. Another DSP would get mad, especially a big artist. So the point of me even saying that is that having the catalog in those 3 companies, they dictate the game. So it's not like Drake have a bunch of people to say, we're going over here to build this. So again, could he do it independently? Yes, but I don't think he believes in some of the stuff you have to do.
I guess,
if I'm an artist,
I guess he feels he can't dominate the way he did independently.
If I'm an artist, I'm taking steroids like the rest of you niggas. I'm getting my fair share of botting. I'm getting my fair share of let's just say wink payola. We gotta get our stuff going. Like there's a fan that's somewhere sitting like, the reason these guys get played on the radio like a million miles per hour is because people just love them. Yeah, all right. It takes money.